to A Well-Designed Business. My name is Luann Nigara, and I'm so glad you found this podcast. Together with my husband Vince and our partner Bill, we have grown our company Window Works from the ground up. So I know and I understand the challenges you face in running your interior design business. I also know that your talent alone isn't enough to ensure your success. So on this podcast, we talk about strategies and practical steps to help you grow your business. But make no mistake about it, we have our share of fun here too, mixed in with those aha moments that I love so much. This isn't fluff. Nobody has time for that. Whether you are a new interior designer or a seasoned designer, I am here to help you create and to manage the kind of interior design firm that you dream of. It's straight talk and it's action. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hi, welcome to A Well-Designed Business. It's Power Talk Friday. I'm very happy because today I have Renee Gurganus with me. Renee is the Executive Director of the Window Coverings Association of America, the WCAA. I have been a member of the WCAA for many years through Window Works, and I've had the privilege of being on the national board of the WCAA for the last 2.5 years. And I have to say, this interview is a long time in coming. Now, Renee is someone whose experience and professionalism is present in everything she does for the WCAA. And while this is Renee's first position at a trade association, it's not her first rodeo. She's been involved in strategic planning and rebranding of nonprofit organizations for more than 25 years. And I have seen personally up close how great she is at what she does and how much she cares about the WCAA. The WCAA started 22 years ago primarily for retailers selling window treatments. Since then, it has expanded to include you, interior designers, workrooms, installers, and manufacturers, everyone coming together to make beautiful interiors. I'm so excited that I wanted to share a list of all the benefits of joining the WCAA right here with you now, but I'm not going to. I'm going to let you hear it from Renee. Hi, Renee. Thanks so much for joining me today on the show.
Hi, Luann. I'm really excited to be here.
I know. This is, a little silly. What is it? 2.5 going on 3 years that I have been on the board at the WCAA, and we're finally just getting you, the director of the WCAA, on the show. Like, hello.
Well, I know, but we've done a lot of other great things together, so this is really exciting, though, to be on your podcast.
Yeah, I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to have you here. So here's the thing. Tell us a little bit about, how long have you been the executive director of the WCAA? And then you'll tell me a little bit about, from your perspective, what the WCAA is and why it's so amazing.
Sure. Well, I have been with them for 4 years, just had my 4-year anniversary. I actually have been we are a nonprofit. We are a membership or association. So I have been working in nonprofits for over 25 years, but this is my first association, and I just love it because the members are just so wonderful, and we just really are a community, a family that really helps each other, and it's just very collaborative. The WCAA started 22 years ago and was primarily for retailers that sold blinds and shutters, and we've grown and we've expanded, and so now we are interior designers, we're the workrooms, we're installers, we're in manufacturers, and retailers. So we really are a really big community that all works together to make beautiful interiors.
I'm surprised to learn that it's only 22 years. Window Works. We've been in business 40 years, and I feel like that they've always been there. That's crazy.
It is crazy, but I actually met virtually one of the founding members the other day, and so it was nice to talk to him and just hear how the baby steps started and how they got started putting this together. So it was really neat.
Oh, who was that? That's interesting.
His name is Joe. He's was originally in Massachusetts, and now he lives in Arizona, but he has workrooms in both. So, I'm hoping to have a blog with him in January. So,
amazing. That's crazy. That's awesome. I mean, well, what a cool thing Joe did, having this vision to, see the need for the WCAA in our industry and to, I always love that when I learn about people who see an idea, see a need, and then take the action on it, right? Instead of just saying, that would be great. I wonder if somebody else would do it, right?
Yeah.
So, and of course, from WindowWorks, I've been a member of the WCAA for many years, but it's the last 2.5 years that I've been on the national board. And that's where I've been able to watch you close up do the work you do as the executive director. And it has never surprised me when I've learned that you have come from a background of 20 years of managing associations like this, because you're so good at it, Renee. You really are. It's what you're well organized. You really care about the organization. It comes across in everything you do, and I just feel like between yourself and then Tracy Brescianen, who is our president, it's a very focused leadership, and I just want to take a minute to congratulate you on that and acknowledge that because it really is noticeable.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. But it really is a team effort, as you know. It takes all of us and our chapter leaders, to keep it running. And it's just really important. And we get a lot of member feedback. We do surveys annually. And so we get a lot of feedback from that. And then we take a look at it as a board, as a team, and try to implement something that's come out of the survey. For instance, for several years, our members kept asking us, we would like to have our own website where we can showcase our businesses to potential clients, right? And so when the pandemic hit, and we didn't get to travel and we didn't get to go to conferences. So I came to the board and I said, can I use some of that money and let's build that website? And so that's exactly what we did. We built the WISP platform, and it highlights our members and it gives all the information, and they're actually using it to find other members. Say they've got a client in Miami but they're in New York and they need an installer there, then they can find Joe Gabara in Miami by just going there, and it has a Google Maps component. So that's one of the really important things that I think that our association does, is it really listens to our members, gets that feedback, really looks at it as a team and talks about how we can implement that.
You know what? You're 100% right. You really are talking the walk that you do. There's no question. I love it. And I think that's awesome that when something like that new website comes out of a request from the members. And, we have a recent thing that has also come out of a request from the members, which was really a major accomplishment, which was you're finding this outstanding new company for insurance coverage. Tell us a little bit about that, right?
Yeah, so from the very beginning when I started, I kept hearing that, because many of our members are independent contractors, right? They own their own businesses. They're small businesses, a lot of them. And so insurance is very costly, or it's very difficult to get health insurance for their employees. And so I have been looking for 4 years for someone that could offer this, because majority of insurance companies want 2,000 or more members, and we have less than that. And so I became a member of a national association for executive directors of associations. Crazy, I know. And they had this webinar, and it was this company, and it's called LIG, and they work with small associations that are having a hard time getting the health insurance. And so we partnered with them recently. And so now we have everything from health insurance to dental, vision, disability, life insurance, prescription solutions. And it's a concierge service is the way they look at it. When you give them a call, you get someone that is not working on a commission basis, which makes a big difference. They're not trying to push something on you. They really listen to you and find out what your needs are, whether it is for your own family or for your business and your employees. And then they put together a package for you and give you a price. And it is based on states because that's the way that the insurance world works. But it has really been a game changer for our members, and I'm really excited that we can offer that.
Well, it really is a feather in your cap because I do know that on the surveys, it always comes back as one of the number one asks, which is, please help me find insurance. To your point, like think about an installer who is a self-employed solo person, right? Like what are the options there? Even an interior designer, how many interior designers are solos? And when you don't have a company of even 5 or 8 or 10, the options are limited and it's hard to find a quality insurance program for business, because as soon as it crosses over into that commercial realm, everything changes. It's complicated, and I know firsthand how much energy you have put into this. And when you finally came up with it recently, you were like beaming. You're like, I found it.
I really was. I was so excited.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and it's the thing for me was interesting was that it was never a need for me. So whenever the surveys came around, that wasn't something, a box or an extra. Most of the time people would add it in and say, and get us insurance plans, right? And it was never a need for us at Window Works. And so my only observation on it was clear how much the community at large was asking for it, and the tenacity that you have put into coming up with it is really something else. And so
well, I'm really excited about it, and it's going to be a marathon because we did just start it right, in this little pocket where you have to sign up. So, but it will be there, and I think it will grow in the future, and I think it'll be really great for our members. So, just another benefit of being a member of WCAA.
Absolutely. So in addition, we have these resources like this. We have this website that somebody can put their portfolio and their contact information on. And that is also very helpful. I have to say, I cannot tell you how often, I would say at least once a month, if not more often, someone will reach out to me, assuming between the podcast, the WCAA, and Exciting Windows, and say to me, I'm in XYZ place. Do you have a recommendation for a window treatment professional, whether it's the full service, measure, order, and install, or just install? And I'm consistently utilizing the search engine either for both Exciting Windows and WCAA to assist people in connecting them with professionals. So that's awesome. I love that you did that. Beyond listening to the surveys and, really going out and finding the things that the members are looking for from the association, we have education. You have a full agenda, a full calendar of webinars and things. You want to talk a little bit about some of the things that you do in that regard, Renee?
Yeah, so we have educational webinars each month, except for November and December because it's just too crazy during that time. So 10 months out of the year. And these webinars are not specific necessarily to an interior designer, a workroom, an installer. They are webinars that are educating you on how to strengthen and grow your business. So whether that's in marketing, whether that's in new apps that you can apply, whether that is in sales funnels. I mean, and the great thing is about it, when we surveyed our members, about 50% watch them live, but 50% watch them recorded. And so when you join, there are 5 years worth of webinars, recordings in the member portal. So say you're really want to, ramp up your Instagram and you want to learn more about the analytics and everything of Instagram. There are several really great webinars in there on how to do that. So I get a notice when somebody opens a webinar and watches a recording. You would be very surprised. It is probably anywhere from 6 to 12 people a day
Wow,
are
that's
watching
awesome.
them. So, and it's just really great. And then next year, we're going to start implementing what we call mini webinars that you could actually sit and listen to in your car while you're driving, or that you can sit while you're having a cup of coffee and watch it for 10 to 15 minutes. And those are going to be more specific to what your industry is. We're going to have installer experts. We're going to have interior designer experts. We're going to have workroom experts. And they are really going to be kind of quick snapshots to help you grow and strengthen your business. So I'm really excited about that as well.
That's interesting. I don't, I don't know if I wasn't paying attention at the last board meeting, but I don't remember hearing about that. Okay,
Yeah,
in the
I've got
back
some,
row
I've
with
already
my
got
head
some
down.
people. Yeah, I've got some people signed up. I've got some industry partners signed up. They'll be doing little mini webinars on new products. And because we don't all have a lot of time to sit down and watch a 45-minute to an hour webinar, right? So if we can get it in snippets, I've got 8 15-minute marketing tool webinar
Wow.
from Creekmore Marketing. So it's going to be really great, and I think it's going to really help our members again. But for those in this busy time, to be able to just sit down and watch it for 10 to 15 minutes.
Well, it's excellent. It's absolutely excellent. And I love that the library of all the other webinars is there too. I know you've had guests like that are common to, my audience would know is Nicole Heimer has been, Kay Whitaker has been a guest with the webinars. Vita has been a webinar guest. So you've really, you go out and you get, nice, great quality people really teaching their skill set, and the fact that like you said, it's like listening to the podcast. You can go back and listen to it again, so you can go into the portal and review the webinars again is excellent. And this 10-15 minute ones is a home run, because it's so true. You just want to sometimes just get a quick tip when you're driving, walking, doing whatever. You don't really have the time or want to take the time necessarily for a 45-minute thing. So that's awesome that we're doing that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other thing is that let's talk about the chapters. There are chapters scattered throughout the U.S., and then we also have a virtual chapter. So talk about the virtual chapter for a moment. So the podcast, Renee, is obviously going out to like 120 countries. Like, I have a lot of listeners, particularly window treatment professionals in Australia. Odd, but true. Okay. So, can somebody from outside the country join the WCAA, or is it strictly an American association at this point?
Well, we're mainly America and Canada. We do have a few interior designers in the Bahamas. But we now have industry partners all over the world. So, but it is more focused, like our conferences and everything happen here in America.
Right.
So, but we do have members that are in other parts of the country. And the virtual chapter actually is kind of funny, because we all think virtual now, right, with the pandemic. But the virtual chapter was started years ago. And it was really started because we have local chapters, but there were so many members that weren't near that local chapter. And so the virtual chapter kind of covers all those other states that do not have a chapter locally. So it really has worked out very well. Many of our local chapters did go virtual for about 18 months. They are starting to meet again, but they're also doing hybrid, so that if somebody is still not really feeling comfortable being in person, then they can still join the meeting virtually as well. So we've really been able to pivot well with that.
And the actual local chapters, there's approximately 10 throughout the U.S. Is that a good number?
That is correct.
Okay.
And we're always open to, if you're listening to this and you're a member and you want one in your local area, then all you have to do is just contact me. We have seed money that we can help you get started. We'll put together your logo. We've got, meetings already prepared in a box to get you going. And we'd love to open more chapters. But, right now we do just have the 10 plus the virtual.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So if we have one of those go-getter people people in our in our midst. That's awesome. Okay. So yeah, and the thing is we have through the national these monthly webinars and so forth and the mini webinars, coming. But then at the local level, where there are local chapters, of course, as you said, it's a little mix now with a hybrid because of the pandemic. But the typical model is, similar to the national. It's a monthly meeting in person, possibly with a guest speaker or possibly with a workshop or whatever it might be, networking around the holidays, just, inviting IPs for socialization. And when we're saying IPs, we mean industry partners. So it's the same rhythm like of anything that you're familiar with, ASID, IDS, the way your chapter meets every month and puts programming and information in front of you.
Yes, and I want to emphasize too, I like to tell this story because, it is an association and we have a lot of great benefits, but the greatest benefit is that we care so much about each other. And I love to tell this story because we have a board member, I won't say her name, whose mother became very, very ill last November. And she's a workroom. It's crazy in November and December because everybody wants it installed before the holidays. And her mom was gravely ill and eventually passed away. And she could not finish her orders. I mean, she needed to be with her mom.
Yes.
Do you know that chapter got together and they went to her workroom for several days and they finished all her work?
Whoa. Oh,
and they did not charge her.
Whoa.
They stopped what they were doing. And that brings tears to my eyes, Luann, because that's what I'm talking about. Is that I had a member call me the last week, and she has this huge commercial building that they're doing these fabulous drapes in. And the installer was installing a 14-foot drape. He fell. Oh. He fell into the window. He cut his back open and had to go to the emergency room. Couldn't install anymore. So she called me. She knows me. She's on the board. She called me at 8 o'clock at night in tears.
Oh.
And so we got another board member, Roger Magales, on the call. And he said, I'll find you someone. That's what I'm talking about. That's what WCAA is about. Yes. It is a community that really helps each other. And that's just what I love so much about it.
You are 100% right about this, Renee, because I didn't know all of these stories, but I have been a member for many years. I've been on the board of 2.5 years. And without even the dramatic stories that these are of really people coming together, there is always that feeling of everybody does know each other. It's different. It's funny because IDS has the same culture. The Interior Design Society has a very similar culture. And Exciting Windows, we have the exact same culture as well. But it's not prevalent in all organizations that you go to, whether they're in industry or out of industry organizations. And that doesn't mean that other organizations aren't valuable, and I haven't enjoyed my time being a member of whatever the other organizations might be, as I said, in or out of industry. But there is a different feeling at a WCAA meeting. It feels like you're coming to be with your friends, as opposed to you're coming into a networking situation. I don't know. I have to tell you, it's a funny story for you. When I first joined as a board member, I think it was only 2 months later, I was doing a presentation at the Boston Design Center, connected with, speaking with the podcast and so forth. And Julie, one of the WCA board members, reached out to me, and I saw her face on Zoom 2 months in a row. I didn't really know her, and she reached out and she's like, hey, saw that you're coming to Boston, want to make sure I see you and meet you, maybe we can have some lunch together or something. And I was like, okay, and so I get to Boston, I do I see her, I say hello, I do the presentation, and when it's over, she comes up to me and she's got 6 women with her. And she's like, okay, so we're all from the WCAA. She goes, we want to take you to lunch. And I was like, oh my goodness. And we went and I met Renee. I met a couple of the other, like it was crazy. We sat there and we had lunch. And I remember at one moment, I just was like, this is incredible. Like these people. And because I came from an hour and a half away. I came from 2 hours away. I came from 45 minutes away. I was just like, oh my goodness. And so it isn't really dire times, but it's also just in happy times, right? It's just in support. Like you're a board member, you're here speaking, we're all going to come and see you. It was amazing. Yeah.
It is amazing, and I've never been a part of an organization that is like this as well. And as you know, IDS and WCAA next year in 2022 are going to start partnering on quarterly events.
Yeah, I know.
So
it's a match made
we're
in
going
heaven.
to, I mean, and because again, why not do that? That is a perfect fit for us to build our community and get to know other people. And we're going to kick it off at Window Works, in March with a luncheon, and I'm just really excited about that. I had another industry partner this week who is going to host one in Dallas. So we're just really excited about, again, bringing that community together, and it's all about collaboration. That's what we're all about.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm so excited that we're having that first collaboration with IDS right at Window Works. And of course, if you have ever been to a Window Works Lunch and Learn, of course, we haven't had one in 2 years. But if you have ever been to one, you're on our email list. If not, follow me on social. Actually, join the WCAA, and you'll definitely get the invitation to come if you're in the New York, New Jersey area. And by the way, a lot of times when we've had these Lunch and Learns that are major events like this, we've had designers and window treatment professional fly in for it. They're just like, I want to be there. And we're like, yay, come. So yes.
Well, and then also I want to say, because we've been talking about industry partners, that, when we surveyed our members this last time, we asked them, are you using your industry partner discounts? Are you finding them to be beneficial to you and your business? And on average, they are saving $1,000 or more a year. Some are saving $8,000 to $10,000 a year. Wow. With our discounts. So, they're for $165 a year to save $1,000. I mean, that return on investment, boom,
That's
right?
Right?
So it's right there. So yeah, we've got the networking, we've got all those other things, but if you're looking at the dollars, I mean, the return on investment for your membership is just incredible.
Well, and that's another thing. The $165 a year to be a member is really reasonable. I mean, when you let's just stack for, like you said, save $1,000 with your discounts with industry partners, but just the webinars and all the other stuff, it's a slam dunk for $165. So, and then the other thing is that we also have the Jill Robson Scholarship. Tell us a little bit about that.
So, Jill Robson was one of our just lovely members, and she was just a mentor to so many people. I unfortunately never had a chance to meet her before she passed away. And so we have a scholarship in her name, and we are actually, it used to be 2 scholarships a year. And in 2022, we're going to do 3 scholarships, and they are $750 a piece. One will be for a workroom, one will be for an interior designer, and one will be for an installer. And these are for you to use them for education. That education can be an online class that you want to take. It can be going to IWCE or the Custom Workroom Conference. It's a variety of things, and we love to do that. And then we love to hear the stories back from our winners of how, they use that money and how it benefited them. So you can learn more on our website at WCAA.org, and there's a scholarship page, and that's how you can apply, and it is for members. And so if you're interested in that and you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
What I love about this is I think people don't understand. I know I did not understand it. you're saying you get $750 if you apply and you win this scholarship, and you can use it. So for instance, I have at Luann University Vita's class, which is scaling your window treatment business. You can use it towards that fee. If you're an interior designer and you want to take, Sarah Brennan's course on process and creating systems in your business, you can use it for that. If you're going to the IWCE, you can use it for your registration for the different classes. It's not like, it's not like some of these airline things. Well, you can only use it for this between the hours of 2 a.m. and 3 p.m. and only when you're standing on your head. Like, you can never figure out how to use the rewards or the points or the anything, right? This is like literally use it for education. Go right ahead, right?
Yes, and we can do it one of two ways. You can go ahead and pay for it and I'll reimburse you, or you can send me the link and I can sign you up and pay for it on my end. So it's really no money out of your pocket to do it. So I just love it, and I'm glad that we are doing so well with WCAA financially that we're able to give 3 scholarships this year instead of 2.
I love it. Now, I have a little bone to pick with you there. You said workroom, interior designer, installer. So are window treatment retailers lumped in with workrooms? Because you can't leave us out.
No, yeah, it would be. I mean, that's kind of what we're wanting. We're wanting to encourage, because mainly all we've ever had is workrooms apply for it.
Yeah.
So we really want, it to open up to all of our members. I'm not quite sure why we haven't had more installers and interior designers or window treatment professionals around, just to do it. So really going to kind of market it that way.
Good. Okay. But we're not excluding window treatment retailers.
No, we're not.
Exactly. Okay. So the one other thing that I want to make sure we touch on is the relationship with the IWCE, which is the International Window Covering Expo. Of course, as a member of the WCAA, you get 1 year free of the Window Fashion Vision magazine, which is published by Grace McNamara and the team at the IWCE. And so that's awesome. But you also will have, so this year, the IWCE is going to be in April. I want to say it's 5th and 6th and 7th of April or something like that. That's it. Good. We'll put the links in the show notes as well. And you at the WCA, you're going to have a booth there, and you and I and Kimberly and Comfortex, we're going to get together and we're going to do a presentation in the booth about the 38 East and how you get into licensing and fabric design and all the things. But also the point is there is a presence of the WCAA at IWCE. So if you're a window treatment professional in any of the fields or a designer, and you come to the IWCE, you can meet you and Tracy and some of the other board members, because we're all going to be there, right?
Right. Yeah, and this year we're going to have our first ever panel that you're going to host. Right. We've never had that before, and it is going to be wonderful, because it is going to be talking about the relationship and the communication between interior designers, workrooms, and installers, and how important that relationship is, and how to best strengthen that relationship. So we're really excited about that. I'm going to have you speaking at our booth. I'm going to have Roger Magales, who's one of our installer gurus. He's teaching classes as well. He's going to be at our booth as a guest speaker. And then yesterday, Michelle Williams said that she would come and hang out with us for an hour and be another guest speaker. So we're really excited. We've never done that before. But, after 2 years of not having a conference, then I say let's go all out. Let's have a good time. And then, the other thing that we're doing as well, we're a partner with the Custom Workroom Conference, which has a lot of classes as well. They're going to have installer classes this year. And we actually, with Rolly, we host a networking event in the evening with cocktails and hors d'oeuvres. And so that's another way. And that is going to be in October of 22. So really looking forward to that as well.
Very nice. I love it. Yes, that panel is going to have Vita on it, Vita Vykovska, Sarah Brennan, and Roger, right? Roger McCullis, right? And so
Yes.
it really is. It's going to be a great conversation because you have Roger as a professional window treatment installer, as an independent. And then you have Sarah, obviously, Sarah Brennan is an interior designer, and Vita, who is the window treatment workroom component of it. And then I'm not on the panel, I'm moderating it, but I've got the 40 years as the window treatment retailer. And so we really are going to break apart the different perspectives, the pros and the cons that each of us have experienced through the years, through working with and across to the other disciplines. And so, like, for instance, Sarah might say, I love it when my workroom does this or my installer does that, and I love it not so much when this happens, right? And so
Right.
for all of us, it's going to become a learning experience. It's going to be, and we did it similarly with ADAC in Atlanta with Tracy Brescianen, the president of the WCAA, where we had a little bit of conversation on the panel that she was on that and it was interesting, and it's fun to, you work with the workrooms for years and years. So as a retailer, I'm working with workrooms for years and years. But sometimes somebody will say something and you're like, I never thought of it that way from that perspective. And that's what I'm going for in this panel discussion, is uncovering the things that each of us might not have realized that the other discipline faces, and what a trial or a struggle is for them. Because if we can solve those for each other, the relationship gets better, right?
It really does.
Yeah.
And it's just such an important relationship that, it's good to hear from the other side what the pros and the cons. I really enjoyed that at ADAC. Can't get it out recently.
Yeah, it was good. Okay, so, have I left anything out? Here we have education, we have collaboration, we have support, community, we have the events, we have the advantages with the insurance program, we have the website advantages, we have 5 years worth of webinars for education that we can go back and listen to. Have I left anything out?
I don't think so.
No, I think
there's a lot of benefits
for $165. I almost think we got to raise the price. No, I'm going to. Oh my goodness. No, it's awesome. And it's been my pleasure to be a member and to have been a board member for these last couple of years. And I just really, really do. Hats off to what you are leading and what the board has created and continues to create, and what the members themselves bring to it. Because as you said, through those stories, it is, how the members interact and come to the table, both as professionals but as humans, and make everything better. So it's a privilege, and I love being a part of the group. So that's my 2 cents on it. But I encourage all of you to go to WCAA.org and look into it and join. And of course, designers, you know what I always say, if you're looking for good window treatment professionals, go where they hang out. And for window treatment professionals, if you're looking for designers to possibly build a relationship and do business with, they're there too. So so thank you, Renee. I really appreciate your being on the show today.
Oh, I loved it. And I'll just say, this is my very first podcast. So I've been interviewed a lot on live TV and everything, but not ever a podcast. So thank you for making it so enjoyable. I always love to hang out with you, and for making it easy and relaxing. So I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Something that Renee emphasized is the sense of family, community, and collaboration that exists at the WCAA. And I have to agree completely. Having been a member of the board this last 2.5 years, I see it in the national board members. I see it in the state chapter board members, that they take the input and the requests from the membership very seriously. It's evidenced in bringing the insurance program to light, and bringing the website to light that has the locator for consumers to find window treatment people. And I've witnessed it in time and time again. So if you're interested in being part of a community that has education, collaboration, support, the WCAA is the place to join. I also love that whether you're a window treatment professional or an interior designer or an installer or a workroom, that it is a great place to meet the other professionals that can complement your business, right? So an interior designer, if you're looking for a window treatment professional, where else to go but where they hang out, right? And if you're a window treatment professional and you're looking for a workroom, well, where else to go but where they hang out? The same with installers, okay? So it makes perfect sense to me. It's a perfect synergy. Then there's another synergy that's brewing that Renee mentioned, is how the IDS and the WCAA are going to be collaborating this coming year on quarterly events. Okay, so the Interior Design Society along with the WCAA, and we are going to kick this off in March at WindowWorks. So March 7th, 2022. How many 22s can I put in there, right? March 7th, 2022. If you are anywhere in the New York, New Jersey area, I invite you to come to WindowWorks in Livingston, New Jersey on this day. I will let you know when the registration link is open to RSVP, but put it on your calendar if you'd like to come. We'll probably get together around 12 o'clock. It'll go to about 4 o'clock, and it's a great place to meet some of these outstanding people. And I will tell you something else. If you want another opportunity to meet the board members at the WCAA, some of the membership of the WCAA, and just learn a little bit more what it's about, then I invite you to stop at the booth at the International Window Coverings Expo. All right. The Window Coverings Expo is April 5th, 6th, and 7th, 2022. And Renee will be there. I will be there. Tracy Brescianen will be there, who is the president of the organization. And of course, lots of the membership will be there. And there's going to be a presentation. Kimberly at WindowWorks, Seraphin, who designed our 38 East collection, which is our signature collection for WindowWorks that's manufactured and produced by Comfortex. We're going to have a little presentation there showing you that collection, talking about how she came up with the patterns and the colors and all the things. So would love for you to stop by the WCAA booth to meet myself and Kim and Renee and everybody else. And then, of course, that the IWCE is going to be filled with Sarah Brennan is going to be there. Vita from Vitalia Inc. is going to be there. Claire Jefford is going to be there. Nicole Heimer is going to be there. We're all going to be there doing all of our things, all of our presentations, and would love for you to join us there. And if you are a window treatment professional and you haven't had enough of me yet, by that point I've been 3 or 4 days in High Point and 2 or 3 more days at the IWCE, we are going to back right up to the IWCE with our Exciting Windows Conference. So if you are a window treatment professional and you have been wondering about exciting windows, then I encourage you to join us for our conference, which begins when the IWCE ends, okay? Private conference, there is a registration fee, but you know me, I stack all the value, so it's worth your time and money to come. So you can learn more about that by going to excitingwindows.biz, all right? It has been my pleasure to have Renee on the show with me today, as much as it's been my pleasure to be on the board for the WCAA. I have to say, hats off to you, Renee, for leading everything that we do in conjunction with our president, Tracy. You guys just really build a environment of really collaboration. It's hard to describe it, but it is very supportive, and it's just a fun, nice place to be. All right. So thank you again, Renee, for joining me. Thank you for listening. And I hope that I will see you either at WindowWorks in March or at the IWCE or the Exciting Windows Conference in April. Thanks tons. Decide to be excellent. Thank you so much for joining me again today. This podcast is a production of WindowWorks, your resource for custom window treatments and awnings. To learn how we can help you on your next interior design project, go to www.windowworks-nj.com. And if you're interested in working with me on your business, either through masterminds or one-on-one coaching, or you want to know how to get my book, The Making of a Well-Designed Business, or you just want to know what's going on in the podcast land and where I'm going to be, all of that is found at luannigara.com. Thank you so much. Have an excellent day.